Hey, I'm Christine, and I have a weird skill. Do you have any weird skills? One of my weird skills is that I'm pretty good at saving money on groceries. It's probably one of my best skills. I should probably write it at the top of my resume. And I've done several videos on my channel on frugal grocery hacks, ways you can save money on your groceries. And I've realized that there's a bunch of tips I have not given you yet. Today, I'm gonna give you some more unique frugal grocery hacks. I think there's 15, hopefully I added right. Math is hard, numbers are hard. If you love saving money on your groceries with these ever increasing food prices, hook me up with a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm and let's get started. Tip number one today is to just avoid the aisles that you don't need. And I think women are particularly bad at this, although I know some men that enjoy perusing the baking aisle as well. But if you don't need the beer, if you don't need the chocolate chips, and you definitely don't need the candy aisle, just skip it. When you go down those aisles that stray from your list of goods that you were trying to get that day, you are more tempted to buy those products. So just avoid it in general. That's why I don't buy cookies and keep them in my house, because I will eat all of them.
Me not fussy, just give me box of cookies.
Otherwise, you open this big can of worms, you open this Pandora's box, and you don't know what's gonna come out, and then your whole world revolves around cookies, and then you find cookie crumbs in your bed, and then your husband gets mad at you because there's crumbs in the sheets. It's just this whole big thing. We want to avoid it. Number two is something I have done for a very, very long time, is to check your receipts. Those prices change all the time at a grocery store. So as they scan your stuff, watch the computer screen. Make sure it actually scans for the right price. This just happened to me a couple of days ago. I was buying a product that was on clearance for $5. It rang up at $8, even though the sticker on the front clearly said $5. And I was kind of like, oh, hey, I don't think that one's scanned right. And they're happy to change it. They want you to get the right price. So just keep your eyes open and pay attention. And if there's some kind of sale or digital coupon, as your receipt prints, take a quick glance. I love this tip. Stop going shopping. That sounds ridiculous. Just don't go, then you'll save money. But it is true. If you go every 2-3 days for some garlic, or I forgot milk, or I need to get bread, every single time you walk into that store, you are tempted to pick up way more than the gallon of milk. You're gonna come home with $20 worth of stuff instead of a $3 gallon of milk. By being a little bit more organized and going less often, there's less chances to impulse spend. Another tip for you I have at the store is to stop buying the women's products that are pink and more expensive than the men's products. And I'm talking specifically about shaving and specifically about Harry's products. And if you don't know about Harry's, it is time you do. Harry's was created to be different than other shaving companies. I have an entire beginner set that I got for Dave, my husband. He and I loved the post-shave balm so much. The starter kit came with a smaller container of it. I went out and bought this huge bottle. He kept talking about how great his face felt, and I love the smell. It is so subtle and it doesn't smell like a high school boys locker room where they've just sprayed Axe everywhere. Another option is to pick up the holiday box, which has the shaving cream and the razor and extra blades. It's a beautiful gift for the loved ones in your life, or even the ones you don't love so much, but you have to give a gift anyway. Also available on their website. And because Harry's insists that you shouldn't have to choose between a great shave and a fair price, they give you both. As far as I'm concerned, it's an easy decision. And you know what's even easier? Harry's is gonna hook you up with the 5-piece starter set for only 3 doll hairs using my link down below. It includes the 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel with aloe, and a travel cover. It's $13 value for 3 buckaroos. All you have to do is go to harrys.com/FFM to get that deal. It's 100% satisfaction guaranteed, so you've got nothing to lose. It's harrys.com/FFM to get the starter set for just $3. harrys.com/FFM. First link in the doobly-doo below. Thanks to them for partnering with me on today's video and for helping my husband smell amazing. And let's check out the rest of those grocery tips. Some stores will give you a discount if you bring your own bags, and Kroger was definitely one of those. They would give you a 10-cent credit per bag that you brought. And if you have a bigger family like me and you tend to use a lot of bags, you could probably get $1 or $2 off. Some stores don't give you any benefit at all, but some do. Plus, then you're just dealing with less plastic and it's good for everybody. Tell me below which stores are still doing that. I don't think my Albertsons does it anymore. Walmart definitely does not do it. But as far as I can tell, my Kroger store, minus Fred Meyer, is still doing it. Now, I forgot what number we're on, but let's talk about the produce scale. When you pick up that big bag of 5 pounds of apples, there's no guarantee it's actually 5 pounds. It's gonna be close to 5 pounds, but it could be under, it could be 4.5 pounds. While a different bag that you pick up is close to 6 pounds. So if you have one of these big bags, just pick up a couple, weigh them, and buy the one that weighs the most, because they're selling it by the bag and not by the weight. If you get a bag that happens to be closer to 6 pounds instead of 4.5, that's a much better deal for you at the same price. This is gonna work with your bags of like lemons, apples, oranges, potatoes, anything basically that they sell in a bag, except for grapes. My grapes are done by pound and not by bag, but basically all the other ones. Those scales are not just for decoration and for looking at yourself in their shiny reflective surfaces. Speaking of produce in a bag, let's talk about that a little bit more, because usually, not always, but usually it's gonna be cheaper to buy your 3-pound bag of apples, 5-pound bag of apples, than to buy them loose. Now I said usually because that is definitely not always the case, and your reminder to check the unit price. Sometimes it is true and cheaper to buy them open and not sold in a bag. So just use your eyeballs and pay attention to those unit prices and see, is the bag better or the loose products that you're bagging yourself better, and then just go with that one. And yes, we're still talking about produce. I have said this tip before, but if you are really scrimping, avoid the pre-cut fruits and vegetables. Just ignore them. They hike up that price so much, you would be astounded. It's probably a 400 to 500% higher amount. Now, they do come in handy for people who have a really hard time chopping and things like that, and I think it's amazing. But if you are capable and you have a few minutes, just chop them yourself. And if you think they look beautiful, because I think they look absolutely beautiful, just take a picture with your phone and be like, ooh, this veggie mix looks really delicious. I'm just gonna buy the ingredients and make them myself. And I can still have the delicious, beautiful ingredients for a lot less. I know what you're thinking. Are we finally done talking about fruits and vegetables? We're not. Here's another tip for you. If you find that your fresh fruits and vegetables are astronomically expensive, it's the middle of December and you want some organic strawberries or some freshly picked blackberries, you are going to pay a premium for that. And in that moment, it's time to head to your frozen section and pick up the frozen fruits and vegetables. The stores these days have so many options between the variety. You can get organic if that matters to you. I even saw like dragon fruit here, frozen dragon fruit in my store here in Idaho, which is insane to me. You can get basically anything you want frozen, and it is ripe and delicious because they pick it when it's ripe and freeze it immediately. So you are not really missing out on your vitamins and nutrients. And in fact, some fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables, are actually digested better once they're cooked a little bit instead of eaten raw. I see you, broccoli. I've lost track at how many tips we're at. But use cash. There is a reason cash works. Number one, it's all you have. It's finite. It's there and then it's gone. It is so much easier to swipe a card for most people. Now, if you are highly disciplined, then you can stick to your budget that you've set for yourself and be like, okay, I'm not gonna go over my whatever dollars. But a lot of people have a hard time doing that. So if you decide at your house, I'm gonna spend $75, take $75 in cash, and then you can't spend more because you don't have any more to spend, which is a fun little psychological game to see what things tempt you and what things you're willing to justify away just because it looks fun and interesting. And I have been guilty of that as well. I mean, I have a few things in my freezer that are absolutely some impulse purchases just because they looked fun and because they were on clearance, and I like that kind of stuff. If you get home and you notice that some of your food is spoiled, and I'm speaking of fresher items. I brought a gallon of milk home, the date was still a week away, and I opened it and it smelled. It had that like bad milk smell, you know what I'm talking about. Ew. Like, I knew it was gonna go chunky in like a day, even though the date was fine. I got it at Walmart. I went straight back to Walmart and I was like, hey, I had several gallons and I was like, this milk is not good. Like, you can smell it if you want. They will return it and give you your money. Like, I'm not gonna use it at my house. I'm just gonna throw it away. Yes, they're gonna throw it away as well, but at least I can get my money back at the same time. They shouldn't be selling bad food. And if they do, they will give you your money back, no questions asked. So don't feel bad about that. Here's a tip I have definitely shared with you before, and it's to, what are you doing? They're gonna think someone died.
No one died. I was lifting my weighted blanket. Guys, it's a little heavy.
Be gone. Now here's a tip I have definitely given before, and it's before you go shopping, shop your pantry or refrigerator or freezer or whatever it is. Look at what you have and build a meal plan around that. You will then shop for much fewer products, use what you have and not waste it, and less food goes in the garbage. You save more money in Mr. Pocket, and it's a win-win-win for everybody. Here's a tip I really, really like, and I feel like if this had been around when I had small kids, life would be better in all ways. You can always shop online. Now, I'm not talking about Instacart because Instacart is supremely expensive, but I'm talking about like a Walmart grocery pickup or another store that does that kind of thing. For me, it's the only store that does that anywhere close to me. If I can like type in all of my items, I stick to my list, I don't impulse shop, I don't wander the aisles, I can get exactly what I need, zip in, zip out, contactless pickup, and head straight back home. It's easy, convenient, it doesn't cost anything extra to do a Walmart grocery pickup. I remember taking 4 kids to the grocery store felt a lot like being pecked to death by chickens. If you have a bunch of little kids, hauling all those car seats out and strapping them all into the carts and having one strapped to your front and like the car seat and the other thing and trying to fit the groceries in your car, it was impossible. Could you imagine the brilliance of just sitting in your car with all the kids and leaving them in there and then having the other person load your trunk? Can you hear the angels singing a hallelujah? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
A couple more tips for you. Now, this one may seem counterintuitive to one I gave earlier, but it isn't. I said there are some people that are pretty good with giving themselves budgets and still using a card. If you are one of those people, use a card and get those cashback points. Like, you're gonna have to buy groceries anyway. You have to put gas in your car anyway. If you just put that on a card that accumulates some form of cash back, you're making money on your purchases. And I am always a fan of that. Now, I could go down the rabbit hole into credit card churning and really utilizing those credit cards, but I think that's outside of the scope of this video. Last but definitely not least, don't forget to use the cashback apps. I love cashback apps. There are 3 that I use regularly, and no, I have never been sponsored by any of them. Ibotta is probably my favorite because it gives the most dollar amount for buying specific items. They have the best deals at Walmart, 100% hands down. They're clearly in cahoots behind the scenes.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
I usually get my cash back into my account within an hour, and then I like to transfer the money straight to PayPal, and then I put it right back in my bank account. So that's how I utilize Ibotta, although you could absolutely redeem for gift cards as well. My second one is Fetch Rewards. I like this one because you just scan your receipt, don't have to buy anything specific. The point values are smaller, but these you do have to redeem for gift cards, and that has been very convenient when it comes to date night with my husband. They do restaurant gift cards. Yes, they do Texas Roadhouse. So if you need to go and get those rolls and like shove your face with those rolls and the cinnamon honey butter with a gift card from Fetch Rewards, I highly recommend. My third favorite is Rakuten. That's strictly an online shopping situation, but it does work like as Christmas comes along. It's a good one to kind of go through, and then they'll put cash in your account and like send it to your bank account every quarter or something like that. Which one of these tips is your favorite as far as saving money on your groceries? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to try out the Harry's Razor Starter Bundle for 3 doll hairs, I will have that first link down below in the doobly-doo for you to check out. My family is loving the products right now, and I think I will never go back to anything else. Thanks for hanging out with me. Happy savings to you, and I hope your grocery carts and refrigerators remain full during this holiday season. See you next time.